Maraming pong rason. Actually, ang una po natin usapan, hindi na talaga tayo mag-year-end party because dami po tayong mga member ng lodges sa different provinces na tinamaan ng Yolanda typhoon. So, we have to postpone sana ang ating year-end. But because kahit malungkot ang kabila, hindi dapat maapektuhan lahat. Kasi kung lahat tayo maapektuhan at maging malungkot, walang mangyayari sa lodges natin. So, ang nangyari na lang po, walang exchange gift. So, yung exchange gift nyo, ilagay nyo na lang po dito para mapadala natin sa mga lodges. Okay po? But now, I think, magbibigay po na magandang mensahe ng ating presidente para po maibsan ko ano man ang nararamdaman natin konting kalungkutan sa mga nasalagta po naman. Friends, brothers, please welcome our President, Dr. Rosel.
Magandang gabi po. I have 3 points, very brief, that I want to share. The first point is how difficult it is for many of our members in the area which we now call the Yolanda affected area. So, I've been in touch with sina Puki Arapo ng Palompon, mga taga-Capiz. This is a slice of how life is for them. Walang walls, walang roof, yung house nila. So para magka-wall, hanap ka ng paraan magkatrapan. But that will not cover your entire roof. Yung sahig has this stick of black water inside your house. Kasi usually ang house may concrete eh. So pag natumba yun, may concrete pa din, hindi makalabas ang water. So yun, sasalupin mo siya, pero uulan, it will drip, magka-water ulit. And because there is no pumping of the sewage, lumalabas ang tubig kung saan nandun yung kubeta mo. So, you're living in a place na mabaho. And it's difficult. Yung job mo is kunyari in a computer shop, but there is no kuryente. The computers got wet, so there's no computer. And the walls are down, so there's no shop. So there is no future. There is no hope. Then people look to you for leadership, but then people have a mob mentality. Ay, sirain ko, dinalaw natin yun, wala namang makinabang doon. So walang kuryente, you want to do the right thing, they're stealing things. Kahit ba yung upuan ng Jollibee, tatanggalin yung tornilyo, iuwi yung upuan ng Jollibee, yung sinihan, biniblade yung carpet, inuwi yung carpet. Wala namang lalatagan ng carpet kasi ganyan kalalim ang tubig. It's just survival. And the challenge to all of us, and the challenge more to them, kasi leaders sila ng community, officers sila ng school, some of them are in charge of information for a university. People look to them for a direction, and in time we have to let that direction get across. And part of the message that they're thinking of giving will come from what we tell them. Or bubuhay nila yung mga nababasa nila sa atin sa Facebook, kasi meron na kasi itong kuryente ng konti eh. Tsaka yung mobile, meron silang roaming from 3G, they get access. Most of the time, wala. Most of the time, they don't live there anymore. So part of the first message is, they're looking to the people and the rest of our society for more than just physical health, but hope, a message to you. What should we say? Part of what we're saying is that the ultimate wisdom in what we are studying, and it's in all religions, is that there must be a plan. We order in the disorder. That's mathematical chaos theory. There's chaos, but if you rise high enough, there is an order in the chaos. There's a reason for cyclic manifestation. May down, may up, may death, may life, may resurrection, may nativity, which is the message of Christmas. But more or less, let us keep our exchanges open. Minsan sasabihin nag-iintay po kami pa kami mag-post sa TSP Facebook ng anything inspiring. Tayo naman na nandito, baka naman bored na sila, o kaya baka naman hindi relevant. Para silang nag-iintay daw, sabi ni Cookie, ng news from somebody out there na natatandaan pa sila. No? So if my request can be accommodated, let's send messages na kahit hindi importante. Kahit yung picture nito parang nakakahiya i-post kasi naghihirap naman sila sa halang buhay. But we can emphasize that this is, we are having this with them in mind. We have a donation box with them in mind, and we're offering this little cheer to share. That's the first message. The second message is, the Philippines has perhaps started in the Theosophical world the biggest fundraising effort in the Theosophical order of service since the time of Iba St, in the time of Mahatma Gandhi. As of today, as of Sireka, we have about, depende sa conversion rate, over 1.5 million pesos in pledges from foreign Theosophical members and locals. This 1.5 million, hindi siyang i-remit. Sinabi natin na mas mahirap sila magpadala ng time kasi natatax siya sa customs. You send old clothes, pay tax for the old clothes kasi to discourage mukay business yata kung hanky-panky nangyayari here. So you'll send us money. Ang proposal sa atin on the table, which will be decided next week, each TS member in the Yolanda affected area will be given somewhere from 3,000, maybe 10,000 pesos per registered. Kung member sila, ang tawag nito, official member ng TS, yung donation kasi came from in that intent, tulungan yung immediate relief yung kapwa member namin, kunyari galing sa Australia. So yung member, bibigyan nila ng, let's say, 10,000 to repair the house, to start something. A graded response for those who are inquirers. Hindi siya talaga member, mga estudyante, nag-attend ng study course. In short, yung mga binibigay ninyong tulong, pupunta po yun sa mga lugar na centers where we have. Part of this second aspect of the message is that ang gusto sana natin, merong long-term plan. May konting continuity, hindi lang relief. So, we have 6, ito over and above the 1.5 billion pesos. The TOS, through the efforts of Tessie Hauchin, has sent, does anybody know how big 20 feet and 20 footer is? Can you imagine a 20-foot container bank? Siguro ito yan, 20-foot container. Kasi pinanok nila yun ng lawan ni Mrs. Hauchin. Kung siya sa bulsa niya, bili siya ng lawanit, pinuno niya yun ng lawanit, ilagyan niya ng trapal, ilagyan ng martilyo, ilagyan ng tako, ilagyan ng mga rope. So we're sending 6 of those to each area sa cellphone ko. Hindi ko siya memoryado. Next week, we're sending the pang-anim to Ormoc. Sa bawat pinagpapadalhan, ang mag-benefit doon, yung ating mga gusto tulungan community where the TSS is involved, pero mostly on the private sector na neglected ng government. I am a volunteer of the DOH. I'm a 1 peso a year consultant. I can tell you na Hindi problema ang pera sa gobyerno. The money is there. Just uunahin nila yung government facilities. If you have like what we do, a youth center, tayo ang TS ng youth center where you can teach yoga to the people. Tapos nilipad yun, hindi yun marirepair. I-repair mo yung sarili mong private yan eh. Hindi nila alam kung pinagkatahanap mo kaya yan. So ang kanila, i-repair nila yung local health center. Yung private clinics, hindi nila i-repair kasi sarili mo yan. So tayo, we are focusing on the neglected old home. So for your information, we have about 6 container vans. Siguro ang isang container van is from this electric fan to the wall. So 6 na gano'n, bawat container van hanggang dito yun. So puno yun ang lawanin. Nun. No? Tapos pag ilirahin mo yan hanggang 6. It's very inspiring. Only a few people needed 1 week to put this together. Hindi pa natatapos yung week na nabuo na yung decision to buy that. So yung family ni Jesse Robredo helped give the political connections and to give her credit is to si Frank Drilon, siya ang nag-facilitate ng discounted, if not free, transport and security. Kasi nung first week, pwede ka magpadala, pero hahijackin mo kasi magulo. Ngayon, hindi na. Short of, meron na siya laging escort. No? So, pag nagtamba ka lang naman ng goods, wala namang network, wala namang organization. Pagka-agaw-agawan lang yan, kasi hindi ma-organize yung effort. So, yung TS members natin doon, organized yung effort. We partnered with Rotary Club and ano ba yung blue and white foundation in pay for work. Hindi namin yan ibibigay sa iyo. Magtrabaho ka. To build the school and then we'll give you it for your house. That's better than dole out. Kasi ang system na nakuha natin sa news 2 days ago, in-interview nung taga-ABS-CBN, nakakakuha pa ba ng food? Meron na po. Kaya alam, problema naman itong gobyerno po. Corn beef talagang binibigay sa akin. Sawa-sawa na ako sa corn beef. Parang this sense of entitlement when others are so hungry reflects a mindset. The mindset is like, I deserve to be taken care of. Mahala kayo sa problema. You want to reverse that. You want to make it, why don't you help others? Yung sobra mo, sawa ka na sa corn beef, di pamigay mo na. Ayaw mo na kainin eh. Di ba? Exchange mo for sardinas. Exchange mo for a slipper. This kind of mindset needs leaders. It needs opinion changers. And that will come from the young people. It will not come from the government. Because I'm working with government, but very sadly, galit ang tao sa gobyerno. Kasi nga, they feel na dapat inalagaan ako ng gobyerno. Meron tayong sense of entitlement. Plus, meron tayong sense of inip. Sa Fukushima, when my inaanak was there, dinidal wave sila. Wala rin ganyan, pero yung mga tao nakapila, mga gagabi, hindi sila umaalis. Hindi sila nag-loot. But you know, this is the first time we had looting. We usually go to conferences and tell people, as a Pilipinas, we never had looting. Iniba yung board ng linggo, wala masyadong naririnig na news of violence, walang looting. Ngayon lang parang nagkaiba kasi masyadong grabe. So that's the second. The third idea is that ang ating Theosophical Society came from Bali. Dumadating yung Yolanda na yan. There was an Indo-Pacific Convention in Bali. Si Vic and I represented the country. And we were presenting what we were doing. After that, wala pa yung bagyo, no? The bagyo will arrive the next day. They all approached us and said, how do we do what you are doing? Meaning to say, paano nyo nagagawa yung ginagawa nyo? Kasi ano ba yung ginagawa ng TSP? Meron tayong college. yung college natin is, ewan ko nasa board, maybe 70 to 80% of our students don't pay. They're scholars. Nakaharap natin sila ng sponsor. Meron tayong high school, meron tayong elementary. Yung ating school system is different from the other school systems. We're evolving a school system without fear and without grades. It's something different. When you have a school system, walang grades. Para yung tao hindi nagiging acquisitive. At the same time, hindi naman siya pinaparusahan. And then holistic yung kanyang education. Kasi you're nationalistic yet you love nature. We're evolving. It's a case in progress. So they're saying, paano nagawa yun? So that's one. Another thing we're doing is internet work. We have one of the most vibrant internet communities of any Theosophical center in the world. Yung iba ang ganda ng mga website, pero walang masyadong nangyayaring dynamic exchange. Sa atin, mga Pinoy yata, aside from being texting capital, Twitter capital na rin tayo later, something else. It's that dynamic of our energy that we can channel towards spreading several key ideas. Peace, cooperation, brotherhood, equality, things that we all stand for from whatever community we are from. This dynamic POS work in the internet is the second thing that attracted a lot of attention internationally. The third idea that was presented there was that our TS is engaged in peace work. There is no other community of Theosophy in the world that's active in conflict areas. Tayo, because of the people who volunteer for OPAP, sila Bimboy, Peñaranda, kilala niyo yung Vice President natin, sila Bebo Trodi, they are sitting in the board of the negotiating process. They're teaching the military, the rebels, kasi dati namang rebelde si Bimboy, pa. Tapos, nasawa na po. Nagtuturo na po ng poetry. Nanalo na po ng Palangka Award. So, but he had a heart attack sa isang Bimboy is resting. Meaning to say, meron tayong mga tao na very involved in things that will change national currents, national direction. Like talking with the Niswari faction, talking with the MIA. Yung inyong TS, involved po siya doon. Because people volunteer. If you have an area of expertise that you feel will have an impact in whatever realm, you can come forward and then hanapan natin siya ng conduit for the energy. Kasi ang daming pwede pong gawin, yet sometimes it takes that, we are waiting for that person to come forward. And then something we learn. Pag may energy, may tao, lumalating yung pera. No? Hindi namin malaman kung saan ang gagaling. So there are areas where we feel there is a lot of future. One is art. Art in the spiritual life. Kung meron sa inyo talagang mahusay sa ganito, it opens a lot of doors. Kasi common language yung beauty and love. Common language din siya to open the pockets of donors. If we rank the donations of venture for fundraising, laging number one, education. If we can link any effort with education for peace, education for social change, education for gender equality, education for animal rights, for vegetarianism, for the environment, basta art, may donation pool na po yan that we just have to tap. The other is universal health care. There are doctors here who are willing to go out and then create a system for the delivery and education of universal health care. There are hundreds of millions of dollars to tap from the United Nations on this. But it's not all about clinics. It's about creating a media page. It's creating a web environment. Yun yung mga hinahanap nila. Writing manuals, writing things, interactive articles and interactive websites for children in Africa. Another area where we hope we can get involved in is solar energy. No? I'm talking with Jim Ayala, is the former CEO of Ayala Land. Meron kasi tayong Solar Energy Foundation. Napapanood nyo sa TV nagkagawa sila ng mga bote-bote na parang ilaw, pero it needs that solar device. There's a German company that's donating that to the Philippines. And there are 8,000 villages na napadala naman. But they need people interested. They need partner NGOs to implement this. The money is there. It's coming from MacArthur Foundation. So if you feel na, ay, interesado ako sa ganito, then let's talk. There's so much to be done. This third message therefore is, people are looking pala to the Philippines. Tayo, ilan naman tayo sa Pilipinas na nag-work sa ganitong klaseng work. To give them the models to follow. To do that, we have to write up what we do. Kailangan natin siya isulat. Kailangan natin siya i-describe. You put it on the web pages. You establish your own web pages and then just link it with the TOS. The idea being is, I learned na in other countries pala, ang dami-daming lang pera. Pero wala silang worker. So I told the person from Australia, why are you closing your Theosophical Order of Service office? You know what they're doing? They are sponsoring education for women in Pakistan. Bawal pala yun. Bawal pala magturo ng babae sa Pakistan because it's a strict Islamic nation. The head of the TS in Pakistan was assassinated by the radical Muslim fundamentalists kasi he was teaching women how to read. He was teaching mathematics and computers to women. It's being funded by Australia. So when he was killed, and then the Australians said, there's no one left, let's close our office first, let's see, alamigin mo na natin. Then they heard us present what we're doing, and they're saying, no, we're not going to change, we're going to revitalize what we're doing. And we have to, instead of just sending money, we have to get involved. Sa atin kasi dito sa Pilipinas, we don't just send money, which is the idea of social work in many rich countries of the world. Put sa bulsa, write a check, give it to Hope Foundation, tapos na, they go. Tayo, we put our money and our feet where it's needed. So the third part of the message is, let's continue doing what we're doing. And sinugulong ko dun, daming young people. With the young people, the average lifespan of the Filipino now is 72 to 75. Depending if you're a man or a woman. Yung woman, mas matagal ang buhay kaysa man. 77. Lampas na po kayo. You're in the profit zone already. No? So, what we're saying is that it used to be that our demographic in the TS is made up of old people. Internationally, it's like that. They're the ones who start thinking of philosophy. But right now, you look at the yoga schools, you look at the vegetarian societies, they're all young people. Second, they're also media people. Now, they're people in key opinion makers. So sa atin sa Pilipinas, ang tingin nila sa atin, ganun tayo. We have an impact in our nation, hindi lang natin alam. No? For example, they know that we have an impact in the peace process. Tayo sa TS, hindi natin alam yun. Kasi yung mga tao natin hindi mahilig mag-selfie, tapos bimbo, ito miswari. Wala ka nakikitang picture na gano'n, pero nangyayari yun. Wala ka nakikitang big Houchin and Tessie Houchin spending millions to send Lawanit to Tacloban or Mog, Sera, etc. Wala, they do it quietly. So ang suggestion ko nga sa kanila, okay, you do it quietly, but can you be documented? let's write it up, make it a program. We need people who know how to do that eh. Gawin siyang project management based, gawin siyang model based. So, with these things, I'll finish. Ang aking parting message is, it's not as bad as it is pictured. No? Ang media kasi has to sell. I was talking with Secretary Coloma last Monday. Sabi niya, Rosel, wala kaming laban dyan eh. People are paying the media man 250,000 pesos a week to put forward kung ano yung agenda nila. We don't pay. We need people like you and your organization to at least whisper around na something's happening and something good will happen, whether it's with this government or the next government. Kasi this government, sabi niya, has only 2 years left. It's you out there, the NGO, who will deliver to the nation its future. So the challenge to us is now bigger than a parochial small NGO or small school in the middle of Camarine or here, as if we don't make a dent. We are actually making waves internationally. And the key, nasa committee tayo noon, internet, that is part of the big key. Education, internet work, and our social advocacy. And finally, ang ating message is very simple. Whatever happens, the basis of our tranquility is that deep inside, there is this compassion that what happens to you affects me. Ang buhay natin ay kawing. We are a chain of union. If part of the chain drops in this table, it drags the entire golden chain down. But if somebody pulls one link, the whole chain goes up. So if all of us will fall into a depression over our problems, everybody falls down into depression with us. But if we can give that ray of hope, and then join other organizations, and then spread that idea in that organization, then that changes a lot of things. So with that, I would like to tell you that you cannot eat unless you can do what Andrew Napa. Maraming pong salamat and happy celebration. I have to go kasi my wife is having facial twitching sickness. Kaya siya yung due